Let's focus in on a sector that has certainly been in the spotlight all of 2019. I'm talking about the Indian railway sector. From talks of running private trains to unifying various railway sectors, the fare hikes, the combining of the rail in the union budget, it certainly has been a sector that has been seeing a lot of contentious opposition as well as growth prospects. Joining in to discuss the road ahead as they chug forward for the railway sector is Mr. R.N. Malhotra. He's the former Railway Board Chairman, as well as Mr. Ajay Shukla, the former Railway Board member. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. I'm going to come to you first then, Mr. Malhotra. So much really has kept the railway sector in the spotlight over the last 1 year. Let's begin by the recent news, the allowing of private entry, the government planning to run 150 private trains on 100 routes. Do you think that this is a step that has been much needed? What are your views?
You see, this type of privatization of moving assets, that is the trains being run by private parties on the infrastructure or fixed infrastructure owned by the government, has been going on in Europe for almost now 40 years. So it had to come sometime or the other, because till now it had not been possible, because our main tracks or main routes where this thing or this type of thing was required, they were too congested. So the private party, even if they were called, they would not have been able to run the trains as efficiently as it was required to be. And therefore now, when the freight corridors are going to be completed, and therefore the existing routes, busy routes of Delhi, Bombay, Delhi, Howrah, etc. are going to get released, therefore it was the right time to start this process.
Okay. Fair enough. Mr. Shukla, would just like to get in your thoughts as well with respect to this overall privatization. How are you even viewing the selection process for the players? Do you believe that it's fair?
No, I am not really aware about the selection process that is being adopted. But on the whole, the concept is all right. But considering the level of traffic that we deal in railways, having some 100 trains out of thousands that we run, it is neither here nor there. So I will not say it is a wrong move or a bad move. The move is all right. But for the ordinary passengers, it is not going to make an iota of difference, especially considering that most of these trains will be high-end for the high-end users. Luxury trains are very costly trains. And considering that our bulk of the traffic is of second class or ordinary sleeper class, now that is not going to be affected, and that is the class which is having the greatest problems. So had these steps been taken to cater to the bulk of our traffic, which is traveling, I can say, cattle class, then it would have been something good. But otherwise, on the whole of it, it is not going to make any difference. It is neither good nor bad, neither here nor there.
Fair enough. Do you also believe, Mr. Malhotra, that this is just an ambitious, 100-day plan? And, do you really feel this will help to revive the railway's dipping finances, that it will streamline the working of the national transporter?
Pardon, I couldn't get your question.
I was wondering if you feel this is just another ambitious plan, or whether it will actually help in streamlining things.
No, you see, the thinking about it has been going on for a long time. And therefore, the railway ministry or the railways, they were waiting for the completion of the freight corridors so that they have enough space in the existing corridors for these trains by private players to be run. It does not require much of a planned expenditure, except that these same routes will also be strengthened, for which the government, the cabinet has already approved an expenditure of about 23,000 crores for upgradation of these routes so that the trains can be run at higher speed. Now that kind of money is not difficult to take out of the total expenditure or total budget of the railways.
Okay. And Mr. Shukla, another 100-day plan which is being opposed is hiving off the railways' rolling stock and locomotive production units. We even saw Congress President Sonia Gandhi raise the issue in Parliament. What do you make of this issue?
Coming to the earlier subject, the question you asked was whether it is privatization is going to improve railway finances in any way or not. I do not envisage it is going to make much difference as far as the railway finances are concerned. Because firstly, as I said, it is a very, very small portion of the total traffic and it is yet to come. So we do not know whether it will be successful or not. Considering that already railway fares are being out-competed by airways. So for all that we know, this might run into losses and the whole scheme may turn into a fiasco. Secondly, as far as Mr. Malhotra is saying about dedicated freight corridor, we must remember that dedicated freight corridor is only on two trunk routes. That is Bombay, Delhi and Punjab to Calcutta. The entire rest of the railways, we do not have a dedicated freight corridor. So it is not going to make much difference to the overall setup. Now, as regards corporatization of certain public sector undertakings about which you asked, now it is a halfway house. What does corporatization mean? We have so many corporate entities of Government of India undertaking, which are all running into losses. So how do we make the accounting system? Since that is not yet decided, I do not know what this term of corporatization is going to make any difference to the railway setup. Because we are not addressing the basic issues of railway. Basic issue of railway is the operational cost. As you might have come to know, our operating ratio, which is the amount of money you earn for every rupee that you spend, it has already crossed 100. And this situation has come when our freight rates are among the highest in the world. Our logistic component of the unit cost of transport, it is also among the highest in the world. Now, this is drawing the entire Indian economy down. It is a very, very heavy cost that Indians are paying for a very inefficient system of freight transportation. Unless we give attention to freight transportation, taking Indian economy as a whole in view.
Right. Allow me to come in because there's a bit of a paucity of time. And Mr. Malhotra, I wanted to get in your take with respect to this fare hike for passengers. At a time when we are seeing this overall slowdown in the economy, what have you made of this move?
No, I don't think it will affect anything on the slowdown of the economy because as Mr. Shukla has said, it is a very small effort which is being started now. It may have some effect on the economy, but you see, mainly this will help the passengers more than the railway itself, because as the higher class passengers will be carried by these private players, because they will be catering mostly for the high-rated passengers. Then the railways will be able to invest more in the coaches for the second-class passengers. They will be able to invest more in trains which will run only maybe second-class people. So that is how the passengers and the public will be helped. They will get more advantage. But the railway itself may not get much of the advantage because the second-class passengers travel, in any case, is a loss-making proposition. And therefore, the railway losses will go on increasing as far as this is concerned. So the economy will not get help. As Mr. Shukla said, the economy can be helped only by increasing production, increasing manufacture, increasing exports, not by running some of the passenger trains by private players.
All right, gentlemen, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and talking us through some of the latest developments and what to expect when it comes to the railways going forward.